Hey there.
It might need to. It might need to be. It might need to be turned on.
Alright, so I still need to find the power apparently. Maybe I went the wrong direction along these cables. So I came here hoping that I could solve the power problem to see inside those tents better, but that may not be a thing that's happening. So let's go finish exploring those tents. And then I'll either check out this temple or that ship. The big looming aspects of this area. Lots of candles.
The menu is rather limited here.
Candles and spam. What else do you need to survive off of? You get tired of the spam, you can eat the candles. I mean, technically. I don't know if it'll accomplish much, but technically you can eat them. I don't know if that means they're edible. It's just the act of eating is often possible. Is that a third option? This path? Wait, you guys have power. What's the deal here?
Some kind of improvised workshop. This must be the highest part of the island. And that diamond shape again. How striking.
Diamond? Not key?
You made it work, Harry. Now it's my turn.
Good morning, crew. Sorry for the reveille. Revelry is spelled differently, right? This morning. I didn't expect to wake up, all of you, with the noise from that awful organ. The good news is that the organ revealed the entrance to a temple. The bad news is that the temple is on the mountaintop, so I hope you're in the mood for a good hike. All joking aside, if the temple has the answer that I'm looking for, we can finally leave this damn island and go home. Thank you for sticking with me. Harry. I don't think that's what happened, though. They had a workshop set up for this boat. What was their plan?
Blowtorch. Looks like it's been used a lot.
Like, I don't think... They must have never thought that they could actually use... This staircase over there that's broken, though. They surely didn't think that they could fix this ship up. It's completely fucked. Maybe they were trying to use... Did they think they were going to make a whole new boat? Like, yeah, what's their workshop accomplishing?
Harry isn't usually very chummy, but he really seems to like Frank.
Frank. Great idea. We'll move the materials we need to the summit so we can set up camp there. Just another thing. Please stop calling me Mr. Everhart. Call me Harry, as all my friends do. Harry. So whatever they're doing with all these pieces, they're taking it up to the summit, so we won't know what they were doing until we get there.
So this is the reason the ship was scavenged.
Frank, if you want to enter the temple on the mountaintop, we'll have to reproduce the effects of the organ somehow. I know we weren't planning on this, but we'll have to build a machine with whatever we can lay our hands on from the Lady Shannon. Think we can do that?
What kind of machine were you building?
Probably the equivalent of that organ, right? To sing the song that ends the earth. It's definitely over here, whatever's making the sound. Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be that thing swinging around, but it totally sounds like some sort of small critter is like stabbing away at the gravel and doing something. Like I expected to whip around and just see something there and be like, what?
I've always been afraid of storms, but something or someone seems to be moving there on the reefs. Or is it just my imagination?
Don't worry, it's just our doom. Let them go.
My God. The ship's hull was ripped open. A few jagged rocks couldn't have caused a gash of this size.
Nuts. Pretty unavoidably and inescapably claw mark shapes, especially since it happened multiple times in multiple locations, and they're always parallel. 4 fingers. Shit's pretty fucked. Honestly, I'm surprised it crashed into an island and didn't just sink. Those are some huge holes. A little confused how it managed to wash up here and isn't just on the floor of the ocean somewhere. There's a bunch of rocks in here.
This place gives me the creeps. I can't see any trace of the ship's crew, nor their remains.
Hello.
Dead as a doornail. Nope, this isn't right. Damn it. I'll try again. Nope, wrong. Old green. Now, what exactly did I turn on?
We found the power, looks like. It can't go that way anyway. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. I don't think I was really supposed to like find the answer anywhere. If they wanted me to enter it as a combination, they wouldn't have given me a positive confirmation each time I press the right one, because then it's a really quick, simple process of just turning them on in the right order. Hello. Now we might actually have some light around here.
That voice. Is that Harry? No, just a recording.
Unaccounted for. 5 of us have survived, but we're stranded on this island. Please send help immediately. This is a distress.
They were here for at least 32 days.
Apparently, Harry's expedition waited for a long time to be rescued. Did they give up hope?
Did they try to build an escape, or are they currently at sea trying to find their way to land? Or did they all die here?
Even the crew of the ship that brought Harry's expedition to this island were afraid of it.
Okay, that one's gonna be a little hard. June 30th, 1934. 8:25 a.m. We delivered the 6 members of the Everhart expedition to the island without incident. We'll come back to pick them up again in 3 weeks. If there's anything left to pick up by then. If there's anything left to pick up by then. 12:40 p.m. Left the island after lunch. No incidents. So these are the people that dropped them off in the first place. So oh, okay, so that's why they were stranded. The moment this ship showed up, they were like, oh, we're fucked. This is it. This is the ship that got us here in the first place. So they need to find an alternate way to leave, and that's just... they're fucked at that point. June... oh, that doesn't bode well for the ship that brought me here. Yeah. Oh, I pressured those guys into coming, too. June 31st, 1934. 6 a.m. The area nearby seems adequate for whaling. We might get a good catch. Oh. No. Not a good catch. You might find something.
This is the captain's last entry.
July 14th, 1934. 10:25 a.m. Good weather and clear sailing until a surprise undercurrent took the ship. I haven't seen the sea that rough in years. 17:25 p.m. First mate swears he saw a huge sea creature near our hull shortly afterwards. Definitely not a whale. Ooh. So the weather was perfect and then abruptly became the worst he's ever seen, or seen in years. It pretty distinctly confirms that blowing up the hatch immediately had results.
The ship was whaling not far from here. Frank is certainly a resourceful man.
I've wired up your message to the radio like you asked, Mr. Upperheart. It'll keep broadcasting as long as the ship's got fuel. God help us, Frank. So they're using the power of the ship's engines and whatever fuel reserves are left to run that. Oop. Sure, we'll need that, so that's probably the next thing for me to solve.
What are you looking for in the heart of the island?
I was thinking this expedition had failed, but I found those stairs that led me to this giant stone organ. It might be another way to get the very heart of the island. In any case, there's nothing we can do until someone hears a distress call.
Maybe the legend is more real than it seems.
On the island of Ponape, there's a city called Nan Madol that's composed entirely of large basalt structures. Legend has it the city was built with floating stones moved by black magic. Evil basalt, ooh. So this is probably real, right? Like, the folklore story about this city is probably the inspiration for this entire element here.
The black ooze's properties are perplexing.
Black ooze test. Changes consistency. Levitates when exposed to different vibration frequencies. So he kept trying 6-digit codes and crossing them out. But it seems to have 9 digits anyway.
These knobs must control the vibrations inside this chamber.
Doobie 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 doo. So maybe I can solve this right now. Okay, so this one seems to move the left and right. This one moves the left and middle. This one moves the middle and right. Okay. Let's see. So there's no option that just moves one, which is usually what I do, is I save that one for last. You move the ones that move the most at once first until they're the most right, then use the ones that move the least of them last to fine-tune it. This one's just gonna be kind of annoying. Okay. They do ultimately all have to be the same height, right? That's the idea. Got it. Okay. Hello.
I better write down those numbers in my journal.
And then she did. $262, $349, $415. So we have this number thing, and then we have this stuff going on. Both unresolved. Things are opening up a bit around there here, aren't they? Harry tried to replicate the well ritual by tweaking his strange optical device, staining the lens with the black ooze. I don't think he ever achieved it, but I have. What I saw through the lens left me speechless. I get the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. I lost consciousness inside that well and got covered in black ooze, but I didn't drown. Instead, I had the strangest dream. I mean, it was a dream, wasn't it? Or a vision, maybe? I'm still not sure. I couldn't control my own body. I jumped off a cliff and dived into the sea. November 7th. I woke up in the dead of night on a black beach, but I can't remember how I got here. I've just got fuzzy memories, like a dream. An enormous shipwreck casts its shadow over the black sand on this beach. It looks like lights are shining through the cracks in its hull. A terrible storm is approaching, and out on the reefs, the lighting seems to reveal some strange figures. Is this a product of my imagination? Dr. DeWitt's mind was getting worse, and he tried to stab Frank. The doctor seemed to be possessed by something that gave him incredible strength. The rest of the expedition had to subdue him and tie him to a pole. After several days of descending further into madness, the doctor disappeared in the dead of night. His restraints were torn apart, and there were strange footprints in the sand nearby. The ship has several colossal gashes along its side, unusual in shape. It should have sunk in the ocean outright. How did it end up ashore? Okay, so they're aware of that too. I thought I heard Harry's voice, but it turned out to be a call for help that he left broadcasting from the ship. I wonder if anyone responded. The ship's completely abandoned. What happened to its crew? The members of the expedition used whatever they could find inside the beached ship to build another campsite on this black lava beach. Harry discovered that the black gunk might have different applications. The ooze reacts to different sound frequencies, and some can even make it float in the air. Did the inhabitants on the island know that too? Harry found another unknown structure built by a previous civilization. He keeps searching for answers even as they wait for help to arrive. The tidal organ emits music tones when the water pushes air through its tubes. Harry managed to activate the organ, which revealed something at the top of the mountain. Another temple, maybe? And he intended to build some sort of machine up there. Good recap system, but you also get her perspective every now and then. Her tone on it. Although she does narrate anyway. Everything on this rotten island...
completely covered in that black goo. I wonder what it'll do to me.
Everything on this rotten island has something to do with that damn black ooze. In one way or another. The ancient ruins, the ritual well. Even Dr. DeWitt's irrational behavior seems to relate to his getting exposed to that awful liquid. Now, after Let's Playing enough games, I think that, not even on a Let's Play level, but just at everybody level, I think that if I made a game, I think specifically one of the little things I would change about how this stuff works is I would make the audio cue play when you put it down. When you pick up the thing, let the audience read the document, and then as you're putting down the document, the character narrates a thought about the document that you just read. Instead, these games constantly say a voice line the moment you pick it up, so she magically instantly read it before you could have ever possibly read it, but she's also interrupting your thoughts when you're trying to read it yourself. And I'm like, who's that for? Is it under the assumption that we're just going to click on stuff and then not look at them, and then put them down, and just wait for her to vaguely narrate a summary at us, and that's... Do they think that's how the players are going to play the game, is just not really read any of the documents? Because even if you're not voice acting it, like for an audience like I am, voice act, if you're not reading it to an audience, like you're still reading it in your head. It's distracting to have the game interrupt you and then wait for them to finish thinking, especially since she's like read ahead, so she's reacting to what you haven't read yet. It's a really haunting, beautiful thing in here, the visual, like the colors and everything. I like it here.
Only God knows how long I've been covered in this black liquid. I wonder what it's going to do to me. Although I doubt anything could be worse than my illness.
You're gonna turn into a fish person. And you're gonna go into the sea. And your mind's gonna be gone. That's probably why there's no crew on this ship. They probably all turned into fish people. And then they were like, welcome, brother. When they tied that the doctor to the post. And then they came and got him. In fact, the giant nightmare Lovecraft monster probably carried this thing here and beached it on purpose instead of letting it sink. Like an infection vector. Going to turn these on as I go or anything?
No power.
Did I miss one on the way here?
At last, some light.
Ah.
That should make things easier.
That's why it's so dark in here? Whoops. I instinctively go to the least interesting looking places first and save the big set piece looking place for last. Because I want to find all the optional stuff. Here's what it actually looks like in here. Maybe they should have made it even darker so it was like unusable. Like make it pitch black in here and also make all the items non-interactive. So it's like, I just can't see anything in here. Just have a little voice line. So that your players don't just awkwardly poke through it all in the dark and you're like, look at them go, wow. That's not what we wanted them to, that's not how we wanted them to experience that. Whoops. This is way easier to see. How many lights they had. Tide levels measurements by Harry Everhart.
I hope you didn't borrow this slide projector from the University of Denver, old pal.
Ah. Those are tide level measurements, those diamonds. Like, is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? But then it goes down arrow, and then they're all offset by 1. Oh. The tide level measurement indicates this. It's a rotation, encoding? What's it called? Cipher? Oh. Is that me? Did you miss me? He jumps in the puddle and turns into a monster with a tail.
Well, that cartoon was unexpected and inexplicable.
Not that inexplicable. It's you. It's a cartoon of you turning into a cat person, a fish person, cat person. Well, what a viz that turned out to be. Hope you enjoyed your Doom cartoon.
Captain Hodgson told me that knowing the lunar cycles is useful for better navigation at night. So Harry probably took this calendar from the Lady Shannon.
Are there any markings on it besides the moon cycles? So yeah, there's a white circle, which is hard to see, but it also makes the text blue whenever there's a full moon, and then there's a blue circle whenever it's a new moon.
A rock stained with black ooze. Looks like the prototype of something. What kind of doodad is this?
Oh, do I type?
Well tuned. I expected no less from you, old pal.
So I need to press these keys. But I need to know the current title symbol so I can cipher it. We can't even... this thing seems kind of significant and I can't even observe it. Like, what the fuck is this? Seems like a big deal to me. Okay, so I need to pick the correct setting on this. And then I need to adapt whatever the code is into this. Did they only count to 7? My numbers go up to 9. So how's that gonna work? Do I look at what day it is? Because today's November 7th, right? Yeah, today's November 7th. So on November 7th, it's a new moon. Which I guess I could also learn by looking at the sky and seeing there's no moon. Despite the overbearing amount of moonlight that seems to be happening. Am I supposed to figure out the tide state via that? Just the fact that it's a new moon today? I don't necessarily remember how that works with that. No, I'll probably see a diamond somewhere, and I can, like, judge how full it is. I don't think I have yet. Nah. They're pretty straightforward with puzzle information, so it'll probably just pop up right here on the screen when I find the correct diamond. And then I can cipher this, and then I can play the notes based on that cipher, and then this thing could freak the fuck out. Or something. I don't know. Maybe it'll eat me.